Building your wholesaling business step by step online. I've simplified it into 3 simple steps. Now, I've been doing real estate investing since 2006, fourth quarter, when I saw the crash coming, when no one else saw it. 2006, fourth quarter, the market was shifting, and I owned a moving company at that time for 8 years, and I saw that the market is shifting, and therefore I knew the crash was going to come because people couldn't pay their bills moving, but they were moving into these beautiful homes. Okay, this is in Dallas, Texas. So after many years of practicing this business and buying rental properties, I want to share with you how I find my rental off-market properties without paying wholesalers, aka what a wholesaler does. Okay, so let's dive in. Number one, you can go to myrealestatedojo.com, click on start, and get my free course totally for free. Now, there are 3 stepping stones, so let's get started. Stepping stone number 1 is lead generation. Okay, stepping stone number 2 is conversion, and stepping 3 is exit strategy. Now, this is very, very important what I just showed to you, because it's over 3 decades of experience of entrepreneurship and real estate investing that I'm sharing this with you, these 3 stepping stones. So if you're new or if you're pro, I'm going to show you how, if you're new, how to be a one-man show and get this business going and eventually scale. And if you're a pro, I'm going to show you how to use systems and people to leverage and do multiple deals all over America. Okay, and there's 3 systems that I have called the 3 stepping stones. Number 1, lead generation. Now, if you're new and you're thinking about, well, how do I, Mike, do the exit strategy? When I buy a property, do I do Airbnb? Do I chop it up and rent out each rooms? Do I do a seller financing where I create a new note? Do I do, see, you don't need to think about that. If you're new, the very first stepping stone is lead generation. And the harvest of a stepping stone number 1, when you know it's working, is when people are calling you, sending you a lead through your website, or they're texting you. If those 3 things are not happening, then you're not generating leads. You may be taking actions, but you're not generating leads. Okay, this is why I say go to myrealestatedojo.com and download how I find motivated sellers in my backyard totally for free. Okay, because you have to have a marketing system. You can't just do one thing. You need to at least do like multiple things for a consistent period of time so you can generate leads. Okay, so if you're new and you're thinking about, well, how do I talk to a seller? See, that's part 2, the stepping stone, conversion. Then you're already thinking too much and you're never going to be able to do the deal. The very first thing you have to do is, like in the Zen philosophy, worry about step number 1. And step number 1 is to generate leads. And the harvest of the lead generation is when people call you, they send you a text, or they send you a lead. If that's not happening, guess what? You're not having any success, and you don't have to worry about step number 2. Well, how do I talk to them, Mike? How do I structure the deal? Do I create a new note? Do I wrap it around? Do I just do subject to? Do I do a lease option? See, you're thinking too much, especially if you're new, right? All you got to worry about is have people call you. Stepping stone number 1, lead generation. Okay, have people call you, text you, or submit you a lead. If that's not happening, you don't need to spend any resources thinking about stepping stone number 2, which is conversion, and stepping stone number 3, which is exit. Okay, what am I going to do? What am I going to rent it out? Am I going to, subject to it, owner finance it? You don't have to think about that, because if you do, you're going to spend a whole lifetime just learning without ever having success, because my 3 stepping stones is the fastest way to do deals. So if you're just starting out and you don't have any leads, then guess what? You don't need to spend any time focusing on how do you structure deals. You don't have to focus on about what is a wet transaction versus a dry transaction. You don't have to spend any time worrying about, do I do a double closing or do I just do an assignment? You don't have to worry about any of that stuff, because if you don't have a lead coming in, which is step number 1, you're not going to have success. Okay, so let's say the phone calls are now coming in, okay, or people going to your website and leads are being generated. Okay, the next step is you have to get on the phone with these sellers and then qualify them. There needs to be a set of questionnaires that you're going to ask the seller to know if this is a good deal for you. Okay, and again, that's why I say go to myrealestatedojo.com and download my free training course. When you click on start, there's a product on the stepping stone number 2 called conversion, called the Ninja Phone Script. Download that, And there's a series of questions that you'll ask a seller, all the way down from questions like, hey, what do you owe on your debt balance? What is the interest rates? All the way down to stuff that's going to tell you their motivation, like, hey, this is a beautiful home. Why do you want to sell? All the way down to questions like, hey, can I take over your payments? You're not going to say it that way, of course, okay? You got to follow the script, okay? So go to myrealestatedojo.com and get the script, okay? So now you did the lead generation. People are calling, and now you're on the phone. Now you have to qualify the sellers, okay? See if they're verified. Any lead that comes in, you're gonna have to stick it in a follow-up system. Now, a follow-up system, you're not just gonna have one, you're gonna have multiple follow-up system. For example, when the lead comes in my business, I put them in an email follow-up system. I put them in a text messaging follow-up system. I'll put them into, depends on what level of a seller they are, how much equity you have, how much motivation they have. I'll put them into a postcard follow-up system. I'll put it into a hand letter follow-up system. I'll put them into a Facebook retargeting follow-up system. I'll put them on a YouTube retargeting follow-up system. It all so there's multiple things that I'll do to follow up when the lead comes in. Okay, depends on the level and the equity on the property, or how much I want the property. Okay, if I don't want the property, I'll still put them on the free follow-up system. If I want the property really bad, then I'll put it into more paid follow-up system, and of course the free. Okay, because free is golden, guys. Don't forget about that. Okay. That's why I say go to myrealestatedojo.com, click on start, and download my free course so you know what I'm talking about, so you can get started ASAP. Okay. Now, leads are coming in. You're talking to them. Now you're going to ask them a series of questions, and then you're going to give them offers. Okay. You're going to give them offers to buy their house at a deep discount, or you're going to give them offers to buy their homes with what I call terms. Okay. Now, the terms, will vary, depends on the equity of the property, the condition of the property, where is it located, is it in an area where there's a lot of, story can go on for days and days. So again, we don't want to worry about any of this stuff. We would just want to focus on what step are we in. I'm just doing a quick overview for you. Okay. So phones are ringing. The sellers have called in. You screen them. You put them in a follow-up system. You give them offers. All right. And then the ones that accept your offer, and which majority of people are going to say no. No one's going to want to sell their homes at 50 cents on the dollar. Most people are going to say, fuck you, dude. But the follow-up system is where it's like an oven. You put it into the oven and you have to wait for it to be baked, okay? And trust me, so many people will become baked. If they're financially motivated or if they're emotionally motivated, they will become baked, because there's only two types of motivated sellers: financial or emotion, okay? Now that you know that, this is why I always say follow-up is the king, you know what I mean, in this business, because most people are going to say fuck you when you try to give them an offer for seller financing or terms or a deep discount, right? But as time goes by and you're constantly in front of them in their Facebook, in their YouTube, in their mailbox, on their door, in their inbox, then once that time is ready to go and the alarm goes off, that they're baked, they're going to think about you. And that's the key. At that time, you have to be there to catch them. If you don't do that, then all this time and energy you put into it, it's over. Okay. So now, and once you get the deal, this is where you can start thinking about the conversion part of the transaction. Okay, what am I going to do with this property? Am I going to chop it up and rent it out into individual rooms because the economy we're in? Am I going to owner finance this thing? Am I going to do a lease option? Am I going to live in it myself? Am I going to owner finance it? Am I going to Airbnb it? What am I going to do with this property? Am I just going to do a traditional rent? This is very, very crucial, because at this point is the only time you want to start thinking about that. Okay? The problem is a lot of us will spend a lot of time and energy just thinking and learning about step number 3, step number 2, and we're really at step number 1. Okay, we're actually step 0. We haven't even freaking started. So real estate is miles and miles deep. Okay, guys. So the best thing is, like Zen philosophy, focus on step number 1. And I just made 3 decades of entrepreneurship and real estate investing so simple for you. Where are you in this journey? Are you having problems with leads? Even doesn't matter if you're pro or new. Are you having problems with conversions? Are people calling you and you're not converting them? Or are you converting them, but you're fucking it up because it's taking too long to rent it out? Are you fucking it up because it's taking too long to whatever, right? Where are you dropping the ball? And that's something that you would have to answer, okay? And if you need some help, go to my real estate dojo, and I do one-on-one consulting or get into one of my coaching programs, all right? So now we get the phones to ring, we're talking to them, and now we're converting them and making money out of it, okay? Now, if you're new, you have to be able to do this multiple times, okay? And then you scale up. And this is very, very crucial, because if you're new, you don't want to hire virtual assistants. You don't want to hire employees, because you're going to spend a lot of energy creating chaos. Because if you don't know what the fuck you're doing, training someone else is a chaos, and you're just going to train them with how to not to do stuff. So you have to be able to do these deals yourself, 3 a month, 10 a month, whatever your goal is, continuously before you outsource, okay? Now, let's say you get to that level, then listen to if you're a pro and you want to scale up story, okay? If you're a pro and you want to scale up, guys, you have to be honest with yourself. Where are you dropping the balls in this 3 simple map that I said? Are you not generating enough leads? Okay, if this is your case, all right, because let's say you're really good at sales, you're really good at conversion, okay, then you're not generating leads. Well, there's 2 ways to generate leads. It's just simple, just only 2 ways to generate leads. You have free and you have paid. So that's it. Where are you in this journey? So most people will just do paid. Well, I highly recommend starting with free, right? Because a lot of people are not doing free. It's like guerrilla marketing. For example, if you go to myrealestatedojo.com, click on start, there's like 39 ways, or 42 ways to get free leads, okay? Start using some of this stuff. It's free or almost for free, okay? Because other people are not using it, so you're gonna be able to stick out, like better. So if you're doing paid, for example, a lot of people do, let's say, SEO, and they don't get any results, or they do like search engine optimization ads, okay, and they don't get that much results. So maybe the leads are costing them $300, $400 per lead. I mean, like, dude, that's crazy. Yeah, sure, you'll make $20,000, but wouldn't it be great to make that $20,000? And if your lead cost was like $1 or $2, this is what I'm talking about with guerrilla marketing, okay? So if you're in the situation where you're getting leads but you're not converting them, then you need to understand, like, why are you not converting them? When sellers are calling you, do you have a good follow-up system? Okay, notice, like, some people say, yeah, man, I follow with them. I say, what did you on my coaching calls, I say, okay, what did you do? You say, well, I called them 2 or 3 times and that was it. I was like, bro, like, I follow with some sellers 2-3 years, man, to get the deal, if the deal I think is juicy enough, okay? So not only need to have one level of follow-up system, that's not good. You need to have 6 different types of follow-up system. For example, the calls, the text, the door knocking, flyers on the door, flyers in the mailbox, flyers in the emails, Facebook retargeting, YouTube retargeting, etc., guys, okay? Postcards, letters. Because once they see you in all these different layers, then they are going to be like, oh, that guy is for real, man. He's not bullshitting. He's doing his shit, right? So this is why you have to be honest with yourself, because if you cannot identify, okay, where are you dropping the balls? Let's say now you're in a situation where you're getting a lot of leads, okay, and you're able to convert it, but you're spending so much money, bro. You're spending so much money holding the fucking property. It doesn't matter if you're fixing flipping, if you're a landlord like me. Dude, sometimes, man, I had brokers and they weren't on top of my shit. And it'll take 2 or 3 months for them to rent out my property because I have so much other shit going on and I had so much shit going on. So it's like, okay, whatever. I had the money to pay for it, but it's really eating into my profit, right? So some of us are in the situation where, we have businesses and it may band-aid it over, but it doesn't mean that, the watermelon has a decay in it still, bro, okay? So it's very, very important that, you are honest with yourself and analyze and say, where am I dropping the ball? Is it because I'm holding the property too long for that fix and flip, or for that rental, or am I waiting for that perfect this or perfect that, or, whatever the story is, okay? I don't know. You have to be honest, and if you can't then maybe book a coaching call or get into one of my coaching programs, and I'll help you be your dreams, guys. That's why I'm here for, okay? So anyways, guys, now that you know the 3 different stepping stones, now that you know, if you're new, what you should do, if you're pro, what you need to do is be honest with yourself, identify, And then hire VAs, guys. This is very, very important because I wrote a course that has contracts, bonuses, how to find these VAs where I am paying them only $150 for a whole month worth of work. That is 40-hour weeks, bro. Okay, where can you find that? That doesn't even, pay per click doesn't even cost that, man. Okay, imagine this. This is what I mean. Imagine generating leads for like 1 cent to $1, bro. Why pay 50, 100, 300, $400 for leads? That's crazy, dude. Okay, only the herd does that. You know, as a refugee to America, I can show you how I did it with my moving company that I owned for 15 years, with my real estate brokerage, with my rental business where I bought property, off-market property, and so on. Okay, so there are other ways to do it, and so once you're honest with yourself, then you got to have VAs to do all this stuff for you, to generate you leads for pennies on the dollar versus going traditionally and pay per click or this and paying all this high money. You can get VAs to go to the county clerk's office and pull out the divorces. You can get VAs to go and pull out records for pre-foreclosures. You can get VAs to go pull out records for all kinds of stuff, and then you can have another VAs skip trace that information. So you have, you know, what I always tell people, man, is they only have one VA and they want to have this virtual assistant doing all this different kind of work. No, no, no. What I do is like the assembly line. What does Henry Ford do? I'll have one freaking VA just sit there and pull out probates. And they become a black belt at that, bro. I have another VA pulling out the divorces, and they become a black belt at that. I have another VA pulling out the pre-foreclosure, and they become a black belt at that. Okay, that VA, all they do all day is that shit. Okay, maybe one more task. Maybe they take that data and now they'll skip trace it. Okay, but I prefer to have one skip tracer, you know, that they'll get that, you know, and from all those VAs are the data entry, and they'll skip trace it, get the social media, get the email, get their phone number, get their addresses, you know, their cousins' addresses, whatever, bro. Because sometimes you're looking for a seller and they left the property. So you're trying to find their mama, their cousins to write them a letter and say, hey, tell them their house is going to foreclosure. I can give them $5,000. I can give them $3,000. Give me a call, dude. So you got to go through those kind of situations, brother. This is why I say if you don't know what you're doing, new or pro, you got to get with me, man. My real estate Dojo, man, and I'll help you, okay? Anyways, now VAs are super, super important. Then once you have at least, you know, it depends what your goal is. If you're trying to do 10 deals a month versus if you're trying to do 100 deals a month, you know, then I'll determine how much VAs you need. But man, if you're paying these VAs $150 for a whole month, 40-hour work, bro, you can get 10 of these guys for the price of what a data center charges you, where these guys, these real estate investors, or get you the VAs charge you, okay? Like they're charging like bukus of money. You can get an army of those guys, okay? And you can because VAs are basically two types. You have the front end VA and the back end VA. The front end VA is what I define as people that pick up the phone, they do the cold calling, they call for the feedback or the reviews, or they deal with the bitchy customers or whatever the fuck your business entails, right? And the back end VAs are the VAs that do the stuff that they don't have to speak English, bro. You can pay them very, very, very little because they don't speak English. They just do data entry. If it's pulling out the pre-foreclosures, if it's pulling out the divorces, if it's pulling out the probates, if it's pulling out the people's houses that has code violations, if it's pulling out people's houses that got burnt, or whatever the story may be, man. Okay, so this is why you need an army. Not only do you need the back end VAs, you need the front end VAs, because they got to work together. I don't have just one VA do my cold calling and do my data, dude, and that's a lot of people do. And guess what? That VA sucks. Okay, I was at a steam room today at my gym, and these two guys were just yapping away about how they had these VAs and they're not reliable. And I thought to myself, bro, you know, I could have sold them and told them about my course, VA X to the 2, which is, you know, shows you how to find VAs in their own country, how to run ads in their own country, how to have filtering system, how to have the VAs jump into hoops for you. It's all pre-recorded already because I use it for my own business. So I'm just giving you exactly what I had from my contracts and my bonuses, because you got to give these guys bonuses to incentivize them to do their best, especially if they're back end or front end, because you're making a whole lot of money. Why not reward them when they fucking do good work for you? That's why I like to give them a low base, and I show you how to do it in my course, VA to the X, to give them a low base and then reward them handsomely when they bring you business, man. Because if they're making you a $20,000 check, why not give them 500 or 1,000 bucks of it? You know what I mean? Or 200. You also have to understand that you don't have to give them that much, okay? Because if you give them just the $25, they're going to be so happy because of the currency exchange. Like one US dollar may be like 80 rupees today in today's time, bro. Back in the days, it was just like, you know, one US dollar was like 50, 60 rupees, okay? So anyways, guys, thank you for clicking the like button. Thank you for subscribing. If you have any questions, comments, leave it below. I highly recommend going to myrealestatedojo.com, downloading my free course where I give you how to find leads, free and paid. I show you exactly how to convert these guys with my own paperwork. I show you exactly what the exit strategy is and so on. And if you want to fast track it, then join my Let's Do It Deal coaching program where I'll work with you to close deals and we'll split the profit. Peace.